Today, we followed the story of an elderly man, someone many would describe as calm, private, and law-abiding, who now finds himself standing before a judge. His alleged offense? Defending his own property. What began as an attempt to protect what he owns has escalated into a legal case that's capturing attention and sparking debate. Was this a necessary act of self-defense, or did it cross a line set by the law? As the court examines the details, emotions run high and opinions remain divided. This case isn't just about one man. It touches on a broader issue that affects many. How far can someone go to protect their home? Stay with us as we take you inside the courtroom, uncover the facts, and explore both sides of a story that challenges the boundaries between personal rights and legal limits.
The court is calling 2024 CR 012444, State versus Jorge Luis De Leon. Could I have parties announced for the record? State.
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Kimberly Bush for the defense.
All right. And are you Mr. De Leon?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. You were here and you entered a plea of no contest on March 24th. The court found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt as you had applied for deferred adjudication. The PSI here
Thank you.
was waived. And both parties requested that would give the state and the defense a chance to present whatever information they wanted to present to the court or whatever evidence they wanted to present to the court. State, do you have any criminal history?
Yes, Your Honor.
And defense, I'm assuming there's no objection because the court had requested criminal
I'm
history.
not going to object to his criminal history, given that it's something that would be covered in a PSI anyway.
All right.
As much as I'd like to ask the court just to believe everything I say and go on that basis, alas. Yeah, let me see if I have a copy.
Well, while they're looking for that, is there any evidence or anything you want the court to consider or any witnesses, counsel?
I would very briefly like to call my client and then his daughter.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Mr. God.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jorge Luis De Leon.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. De Leon, you've applied for probation in this case, both regular and deferred adjudication, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you're asking the court to take a chance on you and to believe that you can move forward in society without getting arrested again or without causing any kind of criminal issues.
Yes, ma'am, that is my intention.
Okay. What do you plan on doing differently than what you had been doing? Without saying that you necessarily had been.
Well, trying to buy my own house and where I live my rest of my life, that particular house, but. it's-
Okay. So you no longer own that trailer that you were in,
No,
correct?
ma'am, I don't.
Okay, and do you own your truck anymore?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Where do you plan on living and how do you plan on surviving?
Stay with my daughter for as long as I wanted there and hopefully to see my grandsons grow and my grandkids and
Okay.
enjoy it with them.
Okay. What do you live on, sir? Are you
On
on
Social
Social
Security.
Security? Okay. And if you remain incarcerated, is that going to stop?
No, ma'am.
Okay, it won't?
Oh, yeah, we'll stop. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right. Now, this case didn't just happen in a vacuum. You felt that the victims had been, well, tell me what your relationship was to the victim.
I found them on the streets, living in the streets, 3 young little kids, and their father and a grandfather.
All right, so I'm sorry, let me just say this. All right, it appears, because I remember what I read in the stipulations. He has tools. He was working on his vehicle. He felt like the complainants were stealing his tools. Now, here's my question. How old are you, sir?
72,
All right, how old are the complainants? Approximately
34.
approximately 34. All right, so here's my question. State, have you had contact with the complainants?
You attempted, Your Honor, yes.
All right, so does that mean no? You attempted, but there
Well,
was no contact?
He had a criminal charge pending. We tried to get his defense attorney's permission to speak with him. Once we got it, we attempted and he hadn't responded.
All right, so sir, here's the thing. I don't know if it's true that somebody was trying to steal your tools or not. It appears that you thought that they were stealing them. And the reason why I say that is because in the stipulations, you tell the officer that you believe they were stealing your tools.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Here's the thing, you can't use that type of self-help. You can't pull a gun on somebody and say, hey, you better give me my tools. That's not the way it works. You shouldn't do that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The other thing is, I understand that people want to help people, but you can't take in complete strangers. If you see, because you're not Child Protective Services, if you see somebody who's living on the street and they have children with them, honestly, yes, it's great to say, here's some money for you. But it may be even better for you to call Child Protective Services and say, these people are homeless, they're living on the street, I'm gonna let them come stay with me. Because you know what would end up happening? CPS would have investigated you and would see if that's the appropriate place for you. Now, you know where we are now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now where we are is they're not living there anymore, I'm assuming. So that means that the children are somewhere, who knows where, in the street because you didn't proceed the right way. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
As the courtroom falls silent, all eyes turn to Judge Boyd, who now lays out a set of choices before the elderly man. The weight of the moment is undeniable. What happens next could shape not only his future, but also how this entire situation is remembered.
I'm going to give you a choice. The state has offered you 3 years. I've read this case. I can sentence you to 2 years in the prison, or either I can give you deferred adjudication. Those are your two choices. There's no other choice for you to make. 2 years in prison or either deferred adjudication.
Different.
All right. And with deferred adjudication, if you are unsuccessful and a motion to revoke is filed, you're looking at potentially 20 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a place to stay?
Yes, ma'am.
Who will you be staying with?
With my daughter.
Who is present in the courtroom today
All right. Thank you.
and has been present at
All
every
right. And
hearing.
if you can, anybody else want to ask him any more questions?
No, Your Honor, I just have the criminal history whenever you're ready.
All right. If I could see his criminal history, please. And can I have his daughter come up?
Mr. Leon.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and that the truth will help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, do you live in Bear County?
I do.
All right. What is your relationship with your father?
My father, I'm his daughter. His father.
All right. Well, I mean,
My dad.
do y'all have a good relationship? Do you talk to him on a daily basis? Does he has any mental health issues going on with him?
No.
All right, when you say not that you know of, because I'm seeing that in his past, he has some driving while intoxicated going on.
Yes, ma'am. It may be. No, I don't think so. He's always been nice. I mean.
Okay. Any anger issues with you?
no,
All right, so you're gonna allow him to live with you?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you're allowing to live with him to live with you, I require that probation do field visits. So they're gonna do field visits. So you can't say, well, I don't want probation to come here. Well, I mean, you can say, probation, I'm not gonna allow you to do field visits. Then you know what's gonna end up happening? He's not gonna be allowed to stay with you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he ever had any mental health issues in his past? Do you know?
No.
All right, any other questions from either side?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, it sounds like you don't need any argument.
No, I mean, it appears to the court, and if my appearances are incorrect, please let me know that this was an argument over tools and state you're silent. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the fact that the state is offering 3 years prison, when you think about what you're charged with, it's not a lot of time in the sense of what the range of punishment is. I know any time in custody is a lot of time, but uh, the court is going to grant your application for deferred adjudication.
As the hearing continues, Judge Boyd turns her attention once again to the elderly man's family, this time asking about his daughter's children. You can sense the concern in the room. This is no longer only about what happened, it's about what happens next for the family.
Does your daughter have any children living with her at her home?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
They say yes and
Are they minors?
Yes.
All right, he's not allowed to babysit. And what I can tell you is if the children are in the home, there needs to be another adult in the home, not him. He's not allowed to do that. Do you understand? All right, thank you. All right. When's the last time you had alcohol? Was it before the arrest?
I gave alcohol to, 10 years ago.
All right. Ms. Abrams, this is what the court is going to do. It's going to be 6 years deferred adjudication and affirmative finding of deadly weapon, affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Daniel Leal, that's the complainant. A $1,500 fine to be probated, 6 years deferred adjudication. I'm going to allow you to do outpatient treatment. I'm sorry, I'm going to allow you to do your TAP evaluation out of custody. If you miss that appointment, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll do a TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow recommendations. And probation, if they recommend inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. There's going to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Are you employed or on SSI?
Ma'am, I help people who need help or
All right.
anything that I think. Carpentry.
Are you on regular retirement or
Yes,
disability?
regular retirement.
All right. And how old are you? 72?
72, ma'am.
All right. I'm not going to require him to have employment, Ms. Abrams. He's 72. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. I'm going to order 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order anger management. Once he completes that, that will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right. And excuse me, I don't see, let me see if I have it. Ah, yes. All right. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. You're gonna have to, you're 72. You're supposed to make better decisions. You're not supposed to make the same decisions that a young person would make. You understand? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So don't do this anymore. And while you're on probation, you're not allowed to possess weapons, but I'll throw that in there as well, just so you can remember. Ms. Abrams, no possession of weapons. And I'm sorry, Miss, what was your name again?
Elva,
All right, and he's to reside with Elva De Leon. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you,
thank
Your
you,
Honor.
ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. Lord be with you.
You too.
As the exchange comes to an end, Judge Boyd offers a final remark, simple yet filled with meaning. Looking toward the elderly man, the judge wishes him good luck.